Chapter 5 Night Talk. Salim slept on the lilo next to my bed that night. I'd hardly ever had to share before. My hand shook itself out. Salim shuffled into a sleeping bag without saying much. I wondered if I should start a conversation. But what about? Small talk or big talk? I remembered what Mom had said when I started at secondary school last autumn. When you meet new people, Ted, keep the talk small. I'd ask her what this meant. Did it mean to use only words of one syllable? She laughed and said no, it meant sticking to everyday subjects. Like the weather, I'd asked. And she sighed and said, okay, Ted, like the weather, only not big weather, small weather, which meant I could talk about anticyclones and minor depressions, but not major storm systems or global warming. Salim, I said, do you do small talk? Hey, said Salim. He sat up. Nah, small talk's boring. It's what people do to pass time when they haven't got anything interesting to say. So you prefer big talk? Yeah, Ted, big talk every time. What do you think weather counts as, big talk or small talk? What, rain and snow and stuff? Rain and snow, storm fronts, global warming, big talk, definitely. Global warming's great. I saw this movie. All New York was underwater. London might be one day, I said. Nah, Salim said, not London, not Manchester, just New York. He brought his knees up to his chin. My mum hates Manchester, he said. She says she hates the rain. I like rain, I said, thinking about how all life depended on it. I like rain too, said Salim. It's cool and calm. Without it, we'd die of dehydration. Too right. But too much and you get a flood. Yes, Salim smiled, a flood, like Noah's Ark. Some people, I said, say the Bible flood was real and that it could be coming again. Salim's head went off on the side and he looked straight at me. Why are you so interested in the weather, Ted? I thought it's a system and I like systems. The weather system is hard to understand because there are so many variables. And variables are interesting. If the system goes wrong, it's a disaster. And some people think the system is starting to go wrong and that could mean the end of the human race. I want to be a meteorologist when I grow up so that I can predict things and help the human race to survive. But we'll have to study very hard and find out about all the variables. Salim whistled. If a flood's coming, will you let me know, Ted, so I can build my ark on time? I will, I promised. Salim lay down and I turned off the light. I listened to us both breathing. This was when I normally switch on my radio to listen to the shipping forecast. I kept it on the desk next to my bed within easy reach. Mum had said not to do it while I was sharing with Salim. My fingers were twitching under the duvet. Salim, I said after a few minutes, are you asleep? Nope, not yet, he said. It's hot. It's a new area of high pressure, I said, moving in from the Atlantic. Telling me. What are you thinking about, I said. I'd been thinking about convection currents, isobars and isotherms. I've been imagining the shipping forecast, Lunday Fastnet, variable 3 or 4. Perhaps Salim had been doing the same. Nothing much, he said. What about you? Weather still? We were quiet again because we're coming south or southeast 5 or 6, I said out loud. Sorry, said Salim. I'm pretending to read out the shipping forecast and instead of this calm, we're having a storm's brewing out at sea. A storm, he said. Yeah, that would ground planes. It would take a very big storm system to do that, would it? Gale force 8 or 9, a fog would be more likely to ground the planes. I heard him sit up again. Ted? Yes? You know this syndrome thing you've got, he said. I said, wondering who had told him. Hope you don't mind me asking, but what is it? What's it like? No one had ever asked me that before. I lay back on my pillow and thought, it's the thing in my brain, I said. Yeah? It's not that I'm sick. No. Or stupid. I know what. But I'm not normal either. So, who is? It's like the brain is a computer, I said, but mine works on a different operating system from other people's. And my wiring's different too. Neat, said Salim. It means I'm very good at thinking about facts and how things work, and the doctors say I am at the high-functioning end of the spectrum. I also once heard a doctor say to Mom that my developmental path was skewed. I didn't tell Salim this because I looked up skewed in the dictionary and it said crooked, which makes it sound as if I am a criminal, which I am not. That sounds good, Salim said. Yes, but I'm rubbish at things like football. So am I, said Salim. Tennis is my game. My favourite sport is trampolining, I said. Trampolining? Yes, I used to have one. I jumped on it every day and it helped me to think. Then it broke. Too bad. I love trampolines. My syndrome means I am good at remembering things. Big things, like important facts about the weather. But I'm always forgetting small things like my school gym bag. Mom says I have a brain like a sieve. She means that things drop through the holes in my memory. Salim laughed. Maybe I've got that syndrome too. I forget things myself. What things? My mobile sometimes, or my homework. I never forget my homework. Kat says that's why at school they call me a neek. A neek? It's a cross between a nerd and a geek. They don't like me because I only talk big. I'm trying to learn how to talk small, but it's hard. You know an awful lot, Salim said. I can tell from all these books. He pointed at my shelves of encyclopedias. Why bother trying to be something that you're not? Mr. Shepherd says if I learn how to be like other people, even just on the outside, not inside, then I'll make more friends. Then I told him something I'd never told anyone before. I don't like being different. I don't like being in my brain. Sometimes it's like a big empty space where I'm all on my own and there's nothing else, just me. Nothing at all. Nothing, I said. Not even the weather. Only my thoughts. I know that place, said Salim. I'm in there too. It gets really lonely in there, doesn't it? I heard him lie down again. He whistled through his teeth. Lonely as hell, he muttered, and was quiet. I thought he'd fallen asleep, but a moment later he said, You got called a lot worse things than Neek at my school. It was all boys, no girls, and really rough stuff. Rough stuff? Yeah, fights and dares. One boy had a knife. I didn't like it, but then I got friendly with my mate Marcus and it got better. He and I, we were the top mushers in 9K. Marcus used to be a packy boy, like you're a Neek, but he isn't any longer. He's a musher now. A musher? I said. What is a musher? It's Northern for casual, cool dude. Last term we starred in this play called The Tempest. Marcus was a huge hit. He'll never be a packy boy again. The Tempest, I said. Is that about the weather? Yeah, it's by Shakespeare and starts with this massive storm out at sea. It's right up your street. After that, he did fall asleep. I lay back listening to him breathing in and out. I wondered how the Tempest could be right up Rivington Street, where we live. Then I realized up your street was another funny thing people say that doesn't mean exactly that. My brainwaves started whirling around the big hollow in my head, like molecules in a cumulonimbus cloud that's about to burst. I made up my own shipping forecast. Malin Hebrides, northwest 7 to severe gale 9. Deeping low, moving northeast, rain becoming variable. A cool breeze came in through the window. Salim gave a sigh as if he was working something out in a dream. I thought about what Aunt Gloria had said, about Andy Warhol being a cultural icon and maybe having what I've got. Then I remembered how some people say Einstein had it too. My brainwaves calmed down and then I fell asleep.